sponsor growth and job creation, providing stability or achieving prosperity through partnership, economic growth, and sustainable development.
Through its agencies, the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation is committed to ensuring all Jamaicans have access to safe, potable water.
In 2022 alone, the NWC has laid a number of new pipes, benefiting over 200,000 Jamaicans.
This year, the government is investing over 7 billion Jamaican dollars into the infrastructure of the National Water Commission through pipeline and increased storage capacity.
Providing you with water is our mission.
Listeners to Love 101 FM are advised that the views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of Love 101 FM.
Hello and welcome to the Morning Watch on Love 101 FM. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. A special welcome to our listeners on love101.org. And if you are overseas and on the move, US listeners can access us at 712-832-8001. And if you are in the UK, 0330-332-6541, or join us via the Love 101 FM app that can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can also join us on Love 101 FM Facebook and YouTube Live in the first watch today. Homeschooling, the new wave in education. In the second watch, Manning and the Costa Cup 2023 competitions so far. For our social media question, we asked, which schools will win the Manning Cup and the Costa Cup this year? Share your responses in our Love 101 FM Facebook page and YouTube channel, and also on WhatsApp, 876-997-3125 using hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll share your response later on the program, but first, here's I quote.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today's I quote is another Joyce Meyer quote, and it says, patience is not simply the ability to wait, it's how we behave while we're waiting.
It's how we behave while we're waiting.
That's right. That period of waiting is how we act in it.
Sometimes we are not acting very properly while we're waiting, Jakal. Sometimes we are becoming impatient.
Right.
Yes. Very interesting words there by Joyce Meyer. Good morning, Jakal. How are you, brother?
I'm doing well. I'm doing good. How are you?
Everything good? As we say in JA, everything good?
Everything close.
All right. No. Everything governed.
Right. The opposite.
Everything governed. Okay, Jakal. Good morning again, and good morning, listeners. The first watch. We'll be back after this break.
Great sardine with the chef and the beginner. Follow the one with pepper, that are the winner. Shop on supermarkets, everybody sell it. Do all of them nice. Pass the part, make push it.
Great sardines, follow the better flavor.
Christmas is togetherness. Flow is giving you their best. Christmas is special savings. That's just what Flow is bringing. Christmas is the joy of giving. Flow has just what you've been wishing. Oh, it's a celebration. Free phone and earbuds for you.
Get a free Samsung phone and earbuds when you sign up for Flow Yard and Road for only $4,999 plus GCT.
Flow makes Christmas bright and blue because it's all inspired by
Visit
you.
the Flow store to sign up today. Conditions apply.
Entering TAN Make It Big promotion is so easy. From June 19 to September 9, participate for a chance to win over $1 million in cash prizes, including smartphones, smart TV, and laptop, or be one of 3 monthly winners of $100,000. Just buy any 6 packs of any flavor of TAN. You have 4 ways to enter: www.tanpromotion.com, WhatsApp 876-571-9645, PO Box Mail number 2010 CSO, or in-store Dropbox. Grand prize draw September 22. Enter now and win. Authorized under Section 58 of the Betting Gaming and Lotteries Act.
In life, The more you have, the more you have to lose.
The more you love, the more you worry. The more you own, the less you sleep.
The more people rely on you, the more you have on your mind.
I have peace of mind.
Knowing that whatever I own
and whoever I care about are covered by the very best.
With Sagicor Life and Advantage General, get life, health, and general insurance to help you protect what matters most.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. We are in the first watch now. Thinking of homeschooling your child? If so, why? Is homeschooling just a recent popular thing to do? Or did it actually predate the sort of centralized schooling that most of us have been through to date? Is this going to be a new thing in education in Jamaica, that of homeschooling? We have as guests today in the first watch to discuss this, to explore this, Peter Gay Forbes Robinson, owner, Gifted Hands Homeschool Pod, and a homeschool mom herself. We also have Stuart Jacobs, president of the National Parent Teachers Association of Jamaica. Stuart Jacobs, Peter Gay, Forbes Robinson. Good morning.
Good morning to you and your listeners, Stokeley.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning,
Now,
Peter Gay.
first of all, would you like to define for us, well, starting with you, Peter Gay Forbes Robinson, please define for us homeschooling in all its branches, by the way.
Okay, good morning again, listeners, and good morning, my fellow folks online. Homeschooling. Okay, so when we think about homeschooling, it simply put, it's when parents or guardians chooses to, to educate their children at home rather than sending them to what you refer to as a traditional school.
I never said traditional, but go ahead.
Right. So it tends to offers a lot more flexibility and a more personalized approach to learning. These children, they're usually not limited to learning any at all. Also, the parents and the children likewise also have the option to, or the privilege to have control over how much is it that they want to learn and what they want to learn. So it's more like a naturalistic way of teaching or training your child.
And
of course, without monetary gain.
Understood. And I will declare my bias. I was homeschooled until I was 5 years old. And I remember some of the lessons vividly in my mind.
Wow, bless the Lord.
I remember some of the lessons vividly, learning the alphabet, learning how to put letters together, and my mother hovering over me to ensure that I learned. Bringing in Stuart Jacobs, sir, president of the National Parent Teachers Association of Jamaica. Any thoughts on the matter of homeschooling? Because I'm assuming that your usual remit is in relation to schools, that they have a building and you go there and you have so many children in a classroom with a teacher teaching them. What are your views on homeschooling, sir? Without prejudice to my bias, sir. Mr. Jacobs. I don't think we're hearing Mr. Jacobs. Are you muted, Mr. Jacobs? While we seem to be, whilst we resolve whatever issues or challenges we're having, hearing Mr. Jacobs, Peter Gay, Forbes Robinson, why would one choose to homeschool a child, and are there any legal issues involved?
All right, so why would one want to choose homeschooling a child? Well, for a number of reasons. over the years, persons, they have different reasons as to why they would want to homeschool, whether it is, more personalized learning that homeschool would have a tendency to offer. Um, in that sense that we have the control over the curriculum in which we want to choose for our child. So that is one
Very
reason as to
interesting. Why is that so important? Why is having control of the curriculum so important? The government might say, well, we already have a curriculum. What's wrong with the one we're presenting?
That is true. But like from the perspective, especially, I'm going to speak from a standpoint as to where I am at in terms of special needs. Having been, a parent of a child who is on the spectrum, the autism spectrum, I have been exposed to the curriculum.
Yes.
I've been exposed to the curriculum. I've been exposed to the institutionalized way of teaching and doing things. And it wasn't a success story for me any at all. It wasn't effective based on how I see my child, how he reacts to the learning principles, how he reacts even to the curriculum.
Yes.
Foremost so that my child, he's more into the engineering aspect. He's only 8, by the way. And at 8 years old.
Nothing is wrong with him being more into engineering, yes.
Right. And at 8 years old, the way in which the curriculum is set, it would not really facilitate where he is heading, right? In terms of being at 8 right now, in the moment where he's at. So what I have done or chose to do is to tweak the curriculum in such a way that it fosters his growth. It doesn't take away his passion for technology in terms of phones, gadgets, TV, anything that is, technological. But I use those medium as a way to provide a training for him. So within his curriculum, he does receive phone repairing. And also along with that, he does receive Hebrew language. He also receives, a strong level of biblical studies and entrepreneurial skills, because for me, I believe that it doesn't matter how young a child is, their brain is very much like sponge. They learn very fast. And so, it is actually effective and good for us as parents to instill the principles of business within our children from a very young age. Not to say that we're going to place them out there in the labor market world, but to have these principles instilled so that as they grow, they don't depend on becoming workers for entities, but they have a vision to be visionaries. And they have a vision to be employers, and that way they tend to add to society more quickly. So getting back to the question as to the reason why persons would have a tendency to choose homeschool, that is one aspect, as well as flexibility in scheduling. You'll find that many a times parents are so busy, the way in which their lives are set, or possibly a possibility that their jobs take them to different places from time to time. Take, for instance, diplomats, right? Where a child can't be trained to one institution. And so instead of switching from institution to another institution, that have a tendency to affect your psychological placement.
It can definitely do so, but we are upon a break already. Peter Gay Forbes Robinson, hold that thought, and we are trying to have Mr. Jacobs come back on the platform. Listeners, don't go anywhere at the moment. We'll be right back. We're taking a break on the morning one.
Once upon a time, there was a girl named Kay. She loved to dance and play. One day at school, she got very ill, and Mom was left with an unbearable bill. It would be easier if Mom was prepared. With School Companion, 80% of the bill is cleared. Medical care for children is a must for as low as $2,400 per month. Make unbearable medical bills go away. Sign up for Surgical School Companion today.
Watch the trend, pick up the trend. This are the trend, the all the youths them. Watch the trend, pick up the trend. TREND. The Big up the trend for education, teachers and the students. A fully bright future, yes, that are the new trend. Better governance partner with the parents. Follow the big trend, elevate the youth them. Improve the school's job performance, access and attendance. From infant primary to university students. Turn up the skills training, full steam we are getting. Follow the big trend, elevate the schools. Yeah. Watch the trend, pick up the trend. This are the trend, we are the youth them. Watch the trend, pick up the trend. TREND. Promote technology. Yes, and better planning, quality education, that's what should be trending. From principals to EOs, everybody winning. Follow the ministry, changing the system. Watch the trend, pick up the trend.
This is Trend, Transforming Education for National Development, a program designed by the Ministry of Education and Youth to transform Jamaica's education system for a brighter tomorrow.
Here come here come increase the tempo. Here come nutrition your lifestyle. Here come boy football season here come try delicious new flavors today. Here come
Take a good look at your Sagicor Bank credit card. Do you see the Acropolis of Athens? The picture-perfect beaches of Crete? Use your Sagicor Bank credit card and you could discover the magic of Greece. Get a chance to win a luxury trip for two to Greece when you spend with your Sagicor Bank Gold and Platinum credit card until November 25, 2023. The more you spend, the more chances to discover Greece. Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Visit Sagicor.com to learn more.
Do you have a heart condition? Your care should be in the hands of our experienced cardiovascular team at Partners Interventional Center of Jamaica. We're one of the leading heart centers for angiogram, stenting, pacemakers, EP studies, and ablation therapy. PICJ has the expertise and latest technology to treat all your heart needs. Call 876-995-7425 or email info@pic-jm.com for appointments. PICJ, your partners for life.
From generation to generation, Jamaicans have depended on J&M Bank to make the pride and joy of providing a safe place for their families possible. Now, with no processing fees and no down payment mortgage options, you can open the door to your own sweet home, a legacy to hand to your next generation. Visit jmbank.com to get pre-approved today. J&M Bank will help you find a way.
Come on now, ping pong chairs, they're so amazing, they're so good. Feed your craving, chocolate rich, you'll be craving more and more and more and more. Here comes the craze. Ping pong chairs, so good. Feed your cravings, you know you want to. Here comes the craze. This chocolate has got you, real chocolate flavor. Charles chocolate, here comes the craze.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. We are in the first watch. We're having a very interesting discussion with Peter J. Forbes Robinson, owner, Gifted Hands Homeschool Pod, and a homeschool mom, and Stuart Jacobs, president of the National Parent Teachers Association of Jamaica. Mr. Jacobs, I think you are back with us, but just before you come in, sir, Peter J. Forbes Robinson, would you like to complete your thought that you were making before the break? Or were you through?
Sure. No, I'm not quite through. I just touched on flexibility. So another option as to why persons would want to even select homeschooling or prefer that is also for just their basic preferences, or in the sense as to special needs. Perhaps they have not found an institution that would facilitate them with the right resources, or perhaps their child, have not really gotten acquainted with the institutionalized settings and perhaps learn better being at home. So these are reasons as to why persons would have a tendency to lean more so to homeschooling.
And in terms of the legality, are there any regulations you have to comply with, or did you just start a homeschool? What are people doing when they want to set up a homeschool that can operate properly?
Well, the Minister of Education, what they have done, because over the years they have recognized that homeschooling have been increasing, the need for homeschoolers have been increasing. So what they have done is to create kind of like, I wouldn't say too much if the policy is formal now, but they have set a guideline as to where homeschoolers could come in, with whomever have an interest. They could come in, do an interview with them. First of all, you do an interview, then you go through a registration process, and then they actually take you through some aspect of workshops, training, and a number of other things. What else am I missing? They also have us on a guideline where we have to, as homeschoolers, we have to take accountability for our actions. We have to also have records of everything. So just the same as you're in the school setting, you have to take account as to attendance. You have to take account as to lesson plans, assessments, results, and the way in which your child is improving or decreasing. You have to take record of all of those information. It's the same with homeschooling.
I'm jumping in here now only because of time, but it's interesting that you have to go through all these regulations to homeschool your own child. But that's probably another discussion. Stuart Jacobs, bringing you in now, sir. Your views on the whole matter of homeschooling, and I say so in light of, can I say, the pending or the Jamaica teacher, well, the bill that is intended to govern teachers, the Jamaica Teaching Council bill, I believe it's called, and I'm not sure what provisions, if any, are made for homeschooling in that bill. I know there was some discussion in that regard. Your thoughts, Mr. Jacobs?
Well, I can't speak to the exact concept of the bill, but what I can say is that it will involve all the broader rudiments of schooling, of teaching, of imparting knowledge to our children. What homeschooling is, it's okay. I mean, it's a choice that a parent would want to make. It has proven to work for some kids. But what I want to caution all about is that the human is a social being, and the learning process begins at home. But the wider socializing of a child's peers continues in the school system, where you are able to learn and develop with others around you of your kind, of your age grouping. There are special cases, of course, but we have seen where homeschooling has proven to be a success, and we have seen where I wouldn't say is a wide majority of parents are opting for homeschooling, but we do find that homeschooling has been one that is encouraged by some. But I do hope, though, that although the child is being homeschooled, there is the opportunity for them to sit in a classroom setting with others, because when they go to the real world, I think adaptability at an early age is most important. And if you can get it at that age, at the learning process at that age, then that's very.
That's an interesting view, Stuart Jacobs, because I hear that a lot in terms of why you should have students in a sort of centralized school setting, an institution, as Peter Gay Forbes Robinson made reference to. But doesn't that child have neighbors that they can interact with, and they have other family members probably at around their age? So that can mitigate the concern, or that can address the concern somewhat that you have raised, that persons need to be growing up learning around people around their age?
Yeah. I mean, if your peer is going to be your brother and your sister, your cousin, or your immediate neighbor in your domicile community, it's not enough. It's not enough because when you come into the world of working and congregating, you're going to need those skills, and homeschooling might not be able to fully establish that. But as long as the curriculum is being followed with strictness and that the child is able to go into the external exams and do well to their ability, then let homeschooling continue. But as long as we understand that we are social beings and that it's a choice by the parent, and I understand why some parents would opt to have their child homeschooled because of the violence in school, the traffic in the morning, the downtime of moving from point A to point B, or they might have a parent who's working at home or as a business at home and find it much more comfortable to stay at home, do their business, and teach their child. Or it might be for religious reason. It might be for health reason. So there are a lot of reasons why people would want to do homeschooling. But as long as that child gets that equal opportunity to play her part or play his part in the advancing himself and the welfare of who we are as humans, then that's no problem. But always remember, we go to church not only to praise whoever we praise, but we go to church to also socialize with others so we can adapt and learn from them and they'll learn from us. That's how we develop as human beings.
Unfortunately, if I could jump in, Mr. Jacobs, only because of time, unfortunately, the socializing at school isn't always monitored. And that is why you have all these fights. We're seeing videos being circulated all across social media. Students are losing, certain functions of their body because of the severity of these fights. But I understand the point you're making, Mr. Jacobs. Before we wrap today, I just want to raise this issue. Well, of course, just for the benefit of the listeners who were wondering about the act, or the bill rather, that I refer to. It is the Jamaica Teaching Council Act of 2022, but it is not yet passed, so it is still a bill. It is still a bill for those who are listening who might have been wondering what we were referring to. But before we wrap, Mrs. Forbes Robinson, what do you see in terms of the future of homeschooling? Because you have this bill coming up now. It doesn't appear to, on the surface anyway, make adequate provisions for homeschooling. In fact, we did cover that topic in the past here on the Morning Watch. Where do you see homeschooling going from a regulatory standpoint?
Well, I believe that homeschooling, it will become a part of the legislation. It will definitely be passed because it is needed. Not everyone
you think that there should be some special regulations specifically for homeschooling, because we were seeing utterances such as that coming out of the House of Parliament?
Not to a great deal, but some aspect of guidelines are needed, which I believe the guidelines that are already set out by the Ministry of Education, I think is
quite adequate.
It is sufficient, right? It's
so
adequate enough for us as homeschoolers.
We have to leave it there this morning. We are totally out of time, but I want to thank Mrs. Forbes Robinson and Mr. Jacobs for being guests with us this morning. Mrs. Forbes Robinson, you're in essence saying that what guidelines exist at the moment appear to be quite adequate. I want to thank you both for your time and for your thoughts, and we look forward to seeing what more comes in this area. Listeners, please stay with us. We'll be right back on the Morning Watch.
in your hand. Say you can.
The time by JM Bank is
Christmas is togetherness. Flow is giving you their best. Christmas is special savings. That's just what Flow is bringing. Christmas is the joy of giving. Flow has just what you've been wishing. Flow is a celebration. Free phone and earbuds for you.
Get a free Samsung phone and earbuds when you sign up for Flow Yard and Road for only $4,999 plus GCT.
Flow makes Christmas bright and blue because it's all inspired by
Visit the
you.
Flow store to sign up today. Conditions apply.
Planning to sit the May-June CXC exams privately? Register with Overseas Examinations Commission before the registration deadline, Friday, November 24. Visit our Kingston office or Montego Bay office to complete your application form or send an email to help@overseasexams.org.jm. Follow our social media pages at Overseas Exams for more details. Remember, if you plan to sit the May-June CXC exams privately, the registration deadline is November 24th.
Sebastian Braham Ministries present Christmas Jubilee, the Old Harbor edition, Friday, December 8th at the Old Harbor New Testament Church of God. Gates open 6:30 p.m., showtime 7 p.m., featuring Petra Kay, Sebastian Braham, O'Shane Mays, and many more. Tickets $2,000 pre-sold, $2,500 at the gate. Children under 12, $1,000. MC yours truly, Abigail Blair Black. Ticket outlets, Benson Pharmacy, Old Harbor, Genus Pharmacy, Portmore, St. Jacob Pharmacy, Spanish Town. It's Christmas Jubilee. Be there.
Once upon a time, there was a girl named Kay. She loved to dance and play. One day at school, she got very ill, and Mom was left with an unbearable bill. It would be easier if Mom was prepared. With School Companion, 80% of the bill is cleared. Medical care for children is a must for as low as $2,400 per month. Make unbearable medical bills go away. Sign up for Sagicor School Companion today.
Call me shrewd. I am getting in when the markets are attractively priced.
Call me smart. I am getting set to capitalize when the markets have increased potential. Call me savvy. I have a mix of wise investments, so I'm earning no matter the season.
They're all investing in Sagicor Investments Sigma Global Funds, like our US dollar Sigma Global Equity and Sigma Real Growth. Never settle for less than your dreams. Start investing now in Sigma Global Funds. Call 888 Sagicor to speak with a Sagicor Investments Wealth Advisor. Conditions apply.
Through its agencies, the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation is committed to ensuring all Jamaicans have access to safe, potable water.
In 2022 alone, the NWC has laid a number of new pipes, benefiting over 200,000 Jamaicans.
This year, the government is investing over 7 billion Jamaican dollars into the infrastructure of the National Water Commission through pipelaying and increased storage capacity.
Providing you with water is our mission.
Welcome back. You're tuning to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. Let's take a look at our news sources to see what Jamaicans and others are saying and doing. And we have quite a number of stories here. The Gleaner. St. James state of emergency brings PNP tour to a premature end. And we have Loop Jamaica News. Another mega resort for Jamaica. A major international hotel group is seeking to develop a 1,000-room luxury resort on the island. We have in the Observer, court clears Johnson Smith in case brought by Jamaican American, and further afield in news, I thought I'd mention this one because of its recency. November the 6th, 2023 is the date. Just a few days ago, opinion, why the EU's LGBT treaty spells doom for African, Caribbean, and Pacific countries. November the 15th might be a tragic day for Africa and the entire Caribbean and Pacific region. It's a day set aside by the European Union to pressure or coax African, Caribbean, and Pacific countries, ACP countries, into signing the deceptively and euphemistically crafted LGBT agreement between the EU and ACP countries. And it goes on to read, in the fifth paragraph that the LGBT agreement has been so craftily worded that once signed by the ACP countries, African, Caribbean, Pacific countries, the agreement automatically supersedes their respective domestic laws and establishes LGBT as their new law. I'm reading elsewhere where Namibia, the country of Namibia, has already said they are not entering into the treaty. Quite interesting, more unknown on that. Of course, coming up next, we'll read through some feedback from our social media question, which is, which schools will win the Manning Cup and the Costa Cup this year? Leave a comment on our Facebook page, and YouTube channel, Love 101 FM Jamaica, or WhatsApp 876-997-3125. We'll be right back.
Marshall's Pharmacy will be celebrating its 5th anniversary and hosting their grand opening Saturday, November 11. Join Love 101 FM as we will be live on location from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. on the grounds of Shop 10 to 11 Pathfinder Plaza, 2W Henderson Boulevard, Portmore, to share all that's happening with you. Listen for Heralds of Hope, brought to you by the Central Jamaica Conference SDA at 12:30. That's Marshall's Pharmacy's 5th anniversary and grand opening Saturday, November 11 from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. right here on the family station, Love 101. Friday, November 10 at 11:15, join Nadine Blair inside the Morning Express as she chats with O'Neil Ricardo about his musical journey in Christendom and share a few of his songs like Everything and Feel Like. Friday, November 10 at 11:15, inside the Morning Express with Nadine Blair, here on the family station, Love 101.
Let everything that has breath raise.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. Let's join Jukal for how our friends on Facebook, YouTube, and WhatsApp answer today's question. Which schools will win the Manning Cup and the Costa Cup this year? Jukal.
All right, so we do have some responses on our WhatsApp line. I'm seeing stats. I'm seeing who else? That's a Charlie Smith. Yeah, I don't know who is in the Cafe would have to tell me. I don't know who in the.
That's all you have so far, Jukal?
Yeah.
Okay, I won't add anything to it. I'll wait to see. Well, we are now going right into the second watch. It's schoolboy football season. Manning and the Costa Cup are up for grabs. Have you been keeping tabs? Who will win them? What have been the issues plaguing the 2023 season? To discuss this and related issues, we have with us Kathia Davis. Kathia Davis is the host of Sports Talk on Love 101 FM, the family station. And we also have Dwayne Richards, Chief Executive Officer, CEO of Yardy Sports. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you both.
Good morning, Stokeley. How are you?
Jumping right into it. Who will win them? Manning Cup first. Who is going to win Manning Cup? Let us bring in our guest from Yardy Sports, CEO Dwayne Richards. Who is going to win the Manning Cup? And you're free to give your analysis before you give your answer, sir.
Well, it's anybody's guess is as good as mine at this moment.
Anybody's guess? No, Mr. Richard, you can't just come and tell us that. No, we want you to put your neck on the block, Mr. Richards. Who is going to win?
But it's hard to tell simply because what we've seen.
You're giving a diplomatic answer, sir. Diplomatic answer.
What we've seen over the past few weeks has us asking questions.
All right.
Yeah.
Questions like what? Like teams, what? Like what questions?
There were teams that were considered teams that must make it to at least the final four. Take, for example, the situation with Mona High and Stats, right? Both teams were seen as teams that could possibly win the Manning Cup. And the situation that we're in now is that Mona High and Stats will play each other on Friday for a spot in the semi-final. One team is likely to go out, and we weren't expecting that at the start of the season. We're expecting both of these teams to be in the final four. So to predict definitively who will win this competition now has taken a turn, because what we've seen is that Kingston College, who wasn't in the conversation at the start of the season, they are now leading Group 1 by virtue of a draw against Mona and a win against Stats. Stats hasn't lost
When you say Group 1, you mean Group A?
Group A of the DaCosta Cup. Of the Manning Cup. They're considered Group 1 and Group 2. It can be Group A or Group B, however you want to put it. But KC are leading that group, and that wasn't expected. Stats were expected to be leading the group, or Mona High, one of the two of them. And now what we have is that KC leads with 4 points. Stats are in second with 3 points, and Mona High have drawn both of their quarterfinal games, and they're on 2 points. And they will face a very good team, a very good Stats team on Friday, and only one of them will advance to the semi-final. So it's no longer
and only one of them will advance. Let's bring in Kathia Davis. Your analysis. First of all, I haven't asked you who's going to win the Costa Cup, but Kathia, who's going to win the Manning Cup?
I'm in agreement.
Don't go around it, Kathia. Don't go around it. Just come straight to the point. Who's going to win the trophy?
We don't know. I think on between Friday and Saturday, we'll have a better idea.
We are a religious media station, so you can get into your prophetic gift now. Who's going to win?
We
Tell
don't
us.
know. The Manning Cup
Prophesy, Kathia. Prophesy.
Not at all. The Manning Cup has blown wide open, and I think
all right,
it has become so interesting because on both hands we're seeing in Group B the defending champions are on the line of almost being out. That's JC. We don't know what's gonna happen, and they have it all to play for as they will play St. George's College. And JC is currently third in their group. If they draw against Georges, they're out. They have to beat Georges to make it to the semifinals. They have no choice.
You're referring to JC now.
Correct, JC.
Yes.
So Tivoli's out of that group. So it's the three teams: Georges, Heidel, and JC that's playing for those two spots. Very interesting. As mentioned, Kingston College lost the entirety. I mean, most of their squad, unlike the other teams in the competition this year, and they are looking to be in the semifinals. Nobody was calling Casey's name at the beginning of the competition. So for the Manning Cup, boy, I tell you, after Friday and Saturday, maybe I'll be able to tell you. But right now, it's wide open. It's anybody.
Kathia, what do you think are some of the issues plaguing the various Manning Cup teams at the moment?
I think maybe fitness has now come into question because the games have been a little bit more stacked in the competition this year. So the teams are playing and they're going all out because you have to play to win every game. That's the point of the competition that you are at now. And for the boys, some of them have hard matches on a Saturday and to come back on a Tuesday, then have another match on a Friday and a Saturday again. It takes a toll now. When you could rest some players and make some, changes, that's not able. You just have to go all out on all the games, and so it's taking a
hold that thought, Kathia, because I'm already seeing where we are upon a break. Hold the thought, Kathia. Very interesting. Listeners, you cannot move from your radio this morning. Stay where you are. Keep looking at us on YouTube. We'll be right back on the Morning Watch.
Sardine for the chef and the beginner. Follow the one with pepper, that are the winner. Shop on supermarkets, everybody
say sardines, follow the better flavor.
The time is
7:45 and a half.
Some dreamers picture a place they call home, a house with no mortgage, a home that they own. Some dream of owning their very own store, be it a cafe or florist, or growing one into more. Where one dreams of making luxury shopping the norm, others dream of sports cars, the kind that perform. But one thing in common these dreamers all need is to build their wealth so they can achieve.
Never settle for less than your dreams with Sagicor Investments. Call 888-SAGICOR to speak with a wealth advisor.
Christmas is togetherness. Flow is giving you their best. Christmas is special savings. That's just what Flow is bringing. Christmas is the joy of giving. Flow has just what you've been wishing. Oh, it's a celebration. Free phone and earbuds for you.
Get a free Samsung phone and earbuds when you sign up for Flow Yard and Road for only $4,999 plus GCT.
Flow makes Christmas bright and blue because it's all inspired by
Visit the Flow store to sign up today. Conditions apply.
Need a qualified counseling psychologist to help you navigate life and challenges? Call Andre Allen Casey with over 10 years of experience in resolving relational issues, therapeutic interventions for couples, families, and individuals. Andre Allen Casey, licensed associate counseling psychologist with offices at 20 West Kings House Road, Kingston 10. Open Mondays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Telephone or WhatsApp 876-360-6594. Or email AndreAllen_Casey at yahoo.com. Andre Allen Casey, counseling with a difference.
Harold, do you have a minute? I need your help with something.
What that no?
I'm filling out this form from the company's office and there's a section about beneficial ownership, but I don't even know what that means.
Well, a beneficial owner is anybody that owns or controls a company. That could be anyone, a shareholder, director, or manager of the company. The company's office also needs to know the identity of all these people, including their occupation, nationality, date of birth, current address, and a copy of their ID.
Okay, I think I understand now.
One more thing. Remember, company's office needs this information when you're starting a company, filing annual returns, or making changes to the beneficial owners. They're also going to need you to maintain a record of these persons. For more information, visit orcjamaica.com and bohubjamaica.com.
Home is where you put down your roots. So at Sagicor Bank, we designed a mortgage with everything you need to own your home easier. Get up to 100% financing, fast processing time, up to $100,000 cash back to assist with expenses, a competitive interest rate, plus an unsecured loan of up to $2 million to go solar at home, and a special rate on home insurance. Let's help you put down your roots. Call 888-SAGICOR to apply for your Sagicor Bank mortgage. Conditions apply.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. We are in the second watch. The topic is Manning and the Costa Cup 2023 competitions so far. And our guests are none other than Kathia Davis, host Sports Talk on Love 101 FM, the family station. And we also have Dwayne Richards, the Chief Executive Officer of Yardy Sports. Kathia Davis, before the break, you're making a point. I want to finish that point before I move to the Costa Cup, because there are some things about the Costa Cup I want to address. Kathia Davis, finish your point, please.
Right. So I was saying, I think for the boys now, it all comes down to fitness and concentration. Having been at a few Manning Cup games this season and watching a few Da Costa Cup games online, I'm realizing that now it's fitness that is being called into question for the boys. And I know ISA has done their best to ensure that the schedule is not as tight for the boys, but I believe that's one of the things that it's separating, they would say, boys from men at this point of the season.
Okay, Kathia, interesting point. Dwayne Richards, Da Costa Cup, your thoughts? And I'm going to ask a somewhat political question. Why is it that in 2023 we are having separate competitions? The Costa Cup for the quote-unquote non-Kingston and St. Andrew schools, and the Manning Cup for the Kingston and St. Andrew schools. Why can't we just be in one nice big melting pot? We know that ultimately there's a further trophy to be sought, but when they had conceived of Manning Cup and the Costa Cup, Kingston and St. Andrews schools in one competition and the other schools in the other competition. Is that still relevant today?
Well, the truth is that schoolboy football has evolved. A lot of people don't know, but the schoolboy football started with the Olivia Shield. Everybody played for the Olivia Shield. That is how schoolboy football began. And then it became arduous for teams to travel. And that's how we had the evolution of the DaCosta Cup and the Manning Cup. The DaCosta Cup came first, then we got the Manning Cup. And so it has become the tradition for teams within what we consider the corporate area and areas of St. Catherine to play for the Manning Cup while the other schools play for the DaCosta Cup. So it's a matter of tradition, and it would take a brave person to break that tradition because of the way that schoolboy football has evolved. Because what we have created out of that is the Olivia Shield being the epitome of schoolboy football, but we've also added the Champions Cup, which allows the best of the Manning Cup to play against the best of the Costa Cup, which in my mind works and works well because we get at least 8 teams from the two competitions facing off against each other. I thought it was even more exciting when we had 16 teams contesting that particular competition when it was originally.
And forgive me for omitting St. Catherine, but the concept remains. You know, I mean, in 2023, why can't we just have one competition for all schools? Because, you know, I don't know. It does sometimes
because then it goes back to traveling. It goes back to traveling and the amount of traveling that you would have to incur, and that will take a toll on the boys even further. Since we've added more competitions, we'll make it more. You'd have to probably drop a competition to be able to consider that. And that becomes a logistical nightmare in my mind if we have them playing for 4 different trophies.
So you don't think there is some sort of subtle stigma? Okay, the Costa Cup is for the rural schools as opposed to the Manning Cup.
It's a stigma anymore because the reality of the situation is that the Costa Cup teams are so powerful now that they don't see themselves as underdogs. It's only in the mind of maybe a few. But the Costa Cup teams have been overwhelmingly strong for an extended period of time, and they do not at any point in time right now consider themselves underdogs.
So we are not subtly elevating Manning Cup over the Costa Cup in our minds, some of us?
It would only be those in the corporate era, because I can assure you that nobody.
I see.
Nobody
and you concur, Kathia? Kathia, you agree? I see you nodding.
Definitely, yes, because the DaCosta Cup, as Dwayne said, the DaCosta Cup has become, maybe in my mind over the past few years, a little bit more competitive than the Manning Cup. I think in the Manning Cup over the past few years, a few teams have stood up, 4 teams going. The DaCosta Cup, I mean, I think sometimes more competitive in terms of crowd support. There are a few teams in the Manning Cup that bring a crowd. But when you go to a Costa Cup game and that game is being played at Clarendon Park or anywhere else, you see the teams, the schools, they come out for these games. And I think they get more support to their teams in the Costa Cup. So I don't think it's a comparison. I think as
interesting.
It's traveling. You can imagine a Kingston team having to go to St. James to play Cornwall. I mean, it means that they would have missed the entire day of school. So we also, because remember, after football ends in December, school continues. So we can't allow the players to miss classes in a broader scale. I mean, when they have a 3:00 match in Kingston, it means that they probably can go to school half day, so they'll be able to go to still get their education as well as being able to participate in sports.
Understood. Now, the Costa Cup. Mr. Richards, your thoughts on how that is going so far?
It's been very interesting. I think that Clarendon College continues to be the team to beat. They're the defending champions, and they've set their stall out this season to show that they're still the team to beat. And I think what we've seen from Glenmore is that they are definitely up for the challenge this season. Andrew Pratt has been there for the past few years, shaping that program. They won the Ben Francis Cup last season. As a matter of fact, that was highlighted. His performance as the coach and the team's performance were highlighted in the Yard Sports Schoolboy Football magazine. Stoke, I'll ensure that you get a copy of it, as well as Kathia, so you can see what it is that we've done at Yard Sports with highlighting schoolboy football. And what Andrew has done at Glenmuir is to revive the program in a serious way, to make them serious contenders. Yesterday, I watched the match and I saw how they dominated Manchester High. And Manchester High were a dominant force in their group. And to beat them, blank them 2-0 at home shows that they are a team that are ready, really ready to challenge for the DaCosta Cup. So I think it's going to be very interesting. But
so now that I've had you give your great analysis and you have established the groundwork and you have given the background and the framework, who are going to win the DaCosta Cup? Mr. Richard.
Clarendon College's cup to lose. I still think that they have out and out the best
Mr.
team.
Richard, that's another diplomatic answer. Let's turn to the prophet, Kathia Davis. I'm giving you a title. Who going to win the DaCosta Cup?
I think Clarendon College.
Prophesy.
I think I'm not prophesying Stokeley. Don't try.
We're not betting on the morning watch, but we're going to prophesy.
No prophecy, just going with the facts that have been presented to us in the games. And based on that, Clarendon College does have the edge, but Glenmuir has a fantastic team.
Okay.
Doing a fantastic job with Glenmuir. Gavin Maseo also not to be counted out, as well as Dintil Technical. So we'll see how it progresses. But for me, I think Clarendon College has built
is going to clinch it on the day.
Likely to win the DaCosta Cup, but I'm not putting
likely to win. That's as close as I get her to go.
I would concur with Kathia's top four. I think that the teams that she's named.
I thought you were going to say concur that
the top four. And I think the semifinals will be mouth-watering.
Yes.
They'll be worth going to watch.
Definitely.
All right. And ultimately, what do you think will happen after we have a champion for both cups? Who will win that other cup, the top cup? Mr. Richards?
I think the DaCosta Cup team holds the edge.
You believe so?
What I've seen in terms of those teams. I think that the Olivia Shield is probably destined to go back to a DaCosta Cup team this year.
I see. And I see Kathia nodding.
Yes,
so,
I'm in agreement. I think
at least you're both agreed that a particular club, well, not a club, a school from a particular cup will win the Olivia Shield. Yes.
It's the DaCosta Cup teams have shown that they more structure in terms of going on to win trophies, and I think maybe this year maybe Clarendon or whoever team wins the DaCosta Cup rather.
All right, so you're both calling it for the DaCosta Cup winner. We're not going to say bet because it's Love 101 FM. Prophesy. I want to thank Kathia Davis and Dwayne Richards for being guests with us this morning. Very interesting and lively discussion on Manning Cup and DaCosta Cup. Thank you so much for your time and thank you so much for your thoughts, Miss Davis and Mr. Richards. Thank you, listeners, for being with us. And for information or to get copies of the program, please call our production department at 876-968-9596-7. And of course, this has been the Morning Watch. Thanks to our producer, Kat Gale, and to our guest. Join Reverend Dr. Dylan Toussaint next week as he looks at other topical issues of the day. I am Stokeley Marsh and hanging back love in the morning.
Thank you for listening to the Morning Watch. Really exciting and riveting conversations there. Coming up next, we have